The Cowboy and Apache Girl Story. The frozen wind carried a sound that no one had heard for years. Deep inside the snowy forest, the Apache girl suddenly stopped walking. Between the tall pine trees, she noticed a small wooden cabin that had never been there before. Its door was slightly open, and strange footprints surrounded it, but there was only one problem. The fresh snow showed no footprints leading away. Her heart started beating faster. She slowly stepped toward the cabin, wondering who could possibly be inside. As she pushed the old wooden door open, a cold gust of air rushed past her face. The room looked abandoned, yet a fire was still burning in the fireplace. On the wooden table rested the cowboy's old hat, the same hat he had lost many months earlier. Beside it was a leather journal with her name carefully written on the cover. Her hands trembled as she opened the first page. The first sentence made her freeze in shock. "If you are reading this, it means I may never return." Tears filled her eyes as memories of their last goodbye came rushing back. Suddenly, heavy footsteps echoed outside the cabin. Someone was slowly walking toward the door. She quickly hid behind an old wooden shelf, holding her breath. The footsteps stopped. Silence filled the cabin. Then the door slowly creaked open. A tall shadow appeared in the entrance, but because of the snowstorm, she couldn't recognize the face. The mysterious stranger quietly picked up the cowboy's hat and whispered, "She finally found the truth." The Apache girl's heart pounded louder than the storm outside. She wanted to step forward, but fear held her back. Who was this stranger? How did he know the cowboy? And what terrible secret was hidden inside the journal? Without making a sound, she watched as the stranger turned another page of the diary and smiled. At that exact moment, a loud crack came from the cabin roof, forcing both of them to look up. The entire cabin began to shake, and the story was about to change forever. The cabin shook violently as snow crashed from the roof. The Apache girl rushed out from behind the shelf, just as a heavy wooden beam fell between her and the stranger. Before she could speak, the mysterious man grabbed her arm and pulled her outside. Moments later, part of the old cabin collapsed into the snow. They stood in silence, breathing heavily while the blizzard roared around them. The stranger slowly removed the scarf covering his face. He was an older man with tired blue eyes and a long scar across his cheek. "Don't be afraid," he said softly. "I was your cowboy's closest friend." She stared at him in disbelief. "If that's true, then where is he?" The man looked toward the frozen mountains before answering. "He didn't disappear. He left to protect you." Those words hit her like the freezing wind. She demanded the truth, but instead of speaking, the man handed her an old silver compass. It was the same compass she had once given the cowboy as a promise that they would always find each other again. Inside the compass was a folded piece of paper. She carefully opened it. The cowboy's handwriting was unmistakable. "If danger ever reaches you, follow the river to the Black Ridge before the first full moon. Trust no one except the man carrying this compass." Her eyes filled with tears. But questions only multiplied. Who was the danger? Why had the cowboy never returned? The stranger pointed toward fresh horse tracks leading deeper into the forest. "We're already too late," he whispered. "Someone else has found the journal." At that moment, a distant gunshot echoed through the mountains. Birds exploded into the sky, and the horses became restless. The stranger's expression turned pale. "They're coming," he said. Without another word, they mounted the horse and raced through the snow-covered forest, unaware that hidden among the trees, someone was silently watching every move they made. In the stranger's gloved hand was a small photograph, but he quickly hid it before she could see it. The face in that photograph could change everything she believed about the cowboy forever. The horse raced through the frozen forest as snow whipped across their faces. The Apache girl held the silver compass tightly, unable to stop thinking about the cowboy's final message. Behind them, distant riders appeared between the pine trees. They weren't far away anymore. "Don't look back," the stranger warned. "Just keep riding." After several miles, they reached the edge of Black Ridge, where an ancient stone bridge crossed a deep frozen river. Suddenly, the stranger pulled the horse to a stop. "This is where he asked me to bring you," he whispered. Before she could ask another question, a familiar voice echoed from the other side of the bridge. "You actually came." Her heart nearly stopped. Standing in the falling snow was the cowboy, older, exhausted, and carrying fresh scars, but alive. Tears streamed down her face as she ran toward him. They embraced tightly after believing they had lost each other forever. For a brief moment, the world around them disappeared. Then another gunshot shattered the silence. The riders had found them. The cowboy quickly pulled her behind a large rock while the stranger held off the attackers. "There's no time," the cowboy said. "Everything you believed was only part of the truth." He revealed that years ago he had uncovered a hidden fortune buried deep beneath the mountains. A ruthless group had hunted him ever since, believing only he knew its exact location. To keep the Apache girl safe, he had disappeared without explaining anything, hoping his enemies would never find her. But now they had discovered the journal, and the hunt had begun again. The cowboy placed a small iron key into her hand. "This key doesn't open a treasure," he said. "It opens the truth." Before he could explain further, an explosion shook the bridge, sending ice and snow crashing into the river below. The three escaped into the forest as the bridge collapsed behind them, leaving the attackers stranded on the other side. Safe for the moment, the Apache girl looked at the mysterious key and realized their journey was far from over. Somewhere, beyond the frozen mountains, a locked place was waiting to reveal the greatest secret of all. In the next chapter, they will search for the hidden vault, but someone from the cowboy's past is already waiting there. And this meeting could change their destiny forever.